Over my 15 years in the fitness industry and many years on YouTube, I've pretty much tried every workout, fitness class, and sport there is. And if there's one universal truth right now is we are all tight on time and money. So today I thought I'd take all the most popular workouts ranging from fitness classes like Barre's to running and cycling to figure out what's worth your time and money. Let's talk scoring. First, I'm just gonna give my opinion of it. And then we have a 7-point system. 1, effectiveness. Does it have resistance training, VO2 max, zone 2, or mobility? You can get 0 to 4 there. Second point it can get, cost. How much it's worth the price. 3, enjoyment. Can it be a hobby or social event? Part 1, we're gonna start with workouts, and part 2, we're gonna go into like specific classes and brands. Number 1, we're starting with Pilates because it has gained the most popularity in the last couple of years. And I will say what Pilates offers is a little bit of resistance training depending on the machine you do. Like mat Pilates, not really, it's like 5-pound dumbbells, resistance bands. Reformer, and if you wanna classify mega reformer, that's technically not Pilates. We'll talk that later in the video, is some resistance training. It's not gonna be as effective, but it is some form. And the nice thing is with the resistance training, there is a range of motion. And so I will give it points for resistance training, mobility. I will give it no points for zone 2 or VO2 max training. You probably will get into the zone 2 a little bit, but you're more likely in the zone 1 for the whole time. In terms of cost, it's getting a big Zippo. There is free resources. Probably my biggest issue with Pilates is how unaffordable it is for most people. And because it's kind of even if it's just a math class, they're still gonna be like $30. And I don't think they're worth it, the little bit resistance training versus just like a dumbbell and squat and like what you can get from weight training. I personally can't ever give a justification of Pilates. Next, enjoyment level. I will say it is really fun. It is borderline a hobby / social event. I think that's the one time I can justify Pilates is it can kind of be a thing with your girlfriends. You all get dressed up, you can go, it's something fun to do together. A lot of my girlfriends now book out Pilates studios for their birthdays instead of going to the bar. So that's where I'd say like enjoyment and social. It has that personally, I find. So all in all, I'm gonna give Pilates a 3 out of 7. Next up, strength training. I'm gonna give a little caveat. There is really 3 forms of strength training. There's resistance training, you go to the gym, lift things up. There's powerlifting, which involves a sport of a squat, deadlift, and bench press. And then there's Olympic weightlifting. So right now we're just talking basic resistance training. You're in the gym, not the sports. For effectiveness, it's gonna get a 2 out of 4 because of strength and mobility. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is I think people associate weight training as the opposite. And it's true, you can weight train a way to become more immobile, but a lot of the times immobility and like tightness is actually weakness. So it does get a 2 out of 4. You just have to be mindful of it. Cost, it is probably one of the most cost efficient. Yes, it ranges from a $1 garage sale dumbbell to an Equinox membership. So there's variance. This is a pick your own adventure, but it will get a 1 for cost for sure. And enjoyment, I'm gonna leave this up to you guys. I've had periods in my life where weight training is clinical. That is why it's probably the most effective. Out of all these, it's probably the most important because one of the number 1 killers on earth is falling when you're old. And the best way to prevent that is get strong. And so weight training, I will never hate on. It is important and we all need to do it. It's not we need to do it. We get to do it, whatever mindset you want. But I've had times in my life where my gym has become my social life. And that's actually where I met my 3 best friends is at the gym because we're all in weight training. And we were like, oh, you're another girl that likes to dress up and weight train. And that's how we became best friends. So it can be. Also though, it can be you're there at 5 a.m. and everyone has a hood over their face and no one talks. So there's a range. So because of that, I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 7. Next up, and I have a theory because some of these you're gonna be like, why are we talking about this? Stay tuned to that. There'll be purpose. Next, swimming. I'm gonna give swimming a 5 out of 7 because it has some resistance from the water. 2, if you go really hard, it can be your VO2 max. If you go chill, it can be your zone 2. Cost, it can be 100% free. You can just jump in the ocean. Of course, accessibility and enjoyment level. This can be a hobby. I feel swimming can become a hobby, and personally, I find it enjoyable, assuming you can swim. But either way, it can be like a skill you can learn, and that's why swimming is actually gonna get a 5 out of 7. Next up, yoga. Now, there's also a wide range of yoga. There's Bikram yoga, aka hot yoga, but he's been canceled, so we don't really call it Bikram yoga, all the way to just a regular stretch, and you can go to yoga retreats. There's the real more religious, so a big variance, but I'm just going to talk about the very Americanized basic yoga that most people are doing. It gets it for mobility, not really any resistance or cardiovascular benefits. You can get a little bit maybe if you're in a hot room, but not really. I say cost, very cost efficient. You can do it 100% free. And hobby, this is one of those ones that like it becomes people's identity, but in the best way possible. Is I feel it can become a hobby. There's skills that you can advance at, and I think that's the most important thing of making a thing a hobby, is it's like something you can get better at and enjoy at the same time. And it can be social depending on the classes, and you can go to things like yoga retreats. So all in all, a 4 out of 7. Next up, my arch nemesis, Keltie. There's a pipeline once you run a marathon. You either become a trail runner, go down the ultra, or you start triathlons and go down the Ironman pipeline. And yeah, I finished a marathon. So you're like, Keltie, where are you going? As a former competitive swimmer, you're like, triathlon. Nope, because I hate bikes. I am scared of them. They're scared of me. I have scars. I've biked many times in my life. I have biked from Jasper to Banff. I have done it. And that's probably why. My parents took me to extreme biking at a young age, like when it was just laborious. And in my mind, it's that. That is the current enemy on the Keltie O'Connor channel. It is biking and avocados. And one day I might overcome one. Probably the avocado first. But yeah, it's got the VO2, it's got the zone 2, it's got resistance training, not mobility, it's lacking there. Cost, you can do this cheap, you can do this crazy expensive depending on it. And hobby, this becomes a full personality. So hobby and can be social, for sure. My sister-in-law just proposed we all get bikes to go test out all the pubs in our city. So can be very social. And for that, I give it a 5 out of 7. So speaking of marathon pipeline, next up, running. I had to say it, had to put it in here. Of course, no resistance training. VO2, zone 2, yeah. Mobility, nope. Cost, 100% free. And then social life, yep. It has become my whole identity. It is a hobby. Here's my question. I feel it's a funny thing of like when fitness is a hobby and when it's not. And sometimes I feel weird when people are like, do you have hobbies? I'm like, and I'm like, I do run. I technically DJ. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. But I do think running and like run clubs and all that can be a hobby and like it's become social, but it can also be antisocial. It's kind of pick your own adventure once again. And so running gets a 5 out of 7. Which kind of the next one and form of workout that you'll see a lot online is HIIT, high intensity interval training. This once again has lost all meaning. So the point of it originally was high intensity intervals, balls to the wall as hard as possible, chill. We're going to talk about the Orange Theories and the Barres later on when we get to the specific classes and you want the T. But this, it should be VO2 max training, but I feel a lot of people, it's just like, no, you're going kind of hard and chilling out. But technically, if you do it right, it's great VO2 max, and that's kind of all it is. I will also give it a point for cost because you can do it 100% free, just balls to the wall and rest. But to really get the benefit of HIIT training is you don't want MIT, moderate intensity interval training, which is fine. I'm not demonizing that, but if you truly want that like VO2 max training, if you're sprinting for 10 seconds, the idea is like you can only sprint that speed for 10 seconds and then you need to fully rest enough to go there. And that's HIIT training if done properly. So 2 out of 7. Next up, trail running, which I fear I've gone down the pipeline in my algorithm, which is gonna get a 5 out of 7 because zone 2, VO2 max. I'm gonna say mobility, hot take, because you're on uneven grounds like ankle mobility, all that kind of stuff. You're moving different directions. It's not just one plane. Also free, out in nature. And talk about a hobby and social life. The trail running community is like, it's infectious. I'm on the outskirts just looking and I'm like, oh my God, can I? Do you mind? I follow all the groups on Facebook and I'm way too nervous to go, but I want to. And so there is the pipeline opening. The last few have been very cardio heavy. We're getting to the Hyrox and the CrossFit and all that. But in this moment though, I do have to remind you guys, because if you're doing all those cardio based things, you're sweating, a thing I will give a 7 out of 10 because it hits all the metrics is drinking electrolytes. And of course, my favorite electrolyte is Element, and the sponsor of today's video, because it's science-based ratio of 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. It's trusted by professionals in the NFL, NBA, NHL. When you work out, when you sweat, such as you're doing crazy cardio and Hyrox and all these, you lose electrolytes. And one of the best things to replenish them is electrolyte package. I love the taste. Point 1. 2, science-based ratio, 2 out of 2. 3, convenience, it's in a little pack. 4, cost efficiency, way cheaper than the pre-made drinks. And so all in all, it gets a perfect score and I love it. And of course, I'm not gonna talk about it and not give you guys a deal. If you go to drinklmnt.com/Keltie, you'll get one of their bestseller packets with your purchase. This is a great way to try the most popular flavors like raspberry and citrus. Once again, that's drinklmnt.com/Keltie. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring this video. Next up, CrossFit. I will ever tempt the video I will do one day on CrossFit, but it just, anyways, resistance training, yes. VO2, zone 2, not really, like a little bit of VO2. I won't say it's in that zone 2 really ever, like maybe at points, but it's not really specific. Like you can do anything at zone 2 and then can have some mobility. Cost, I will give it a 0. It is not the most cost efficient. You kind of have to do it with the class. Of course, you can go do it on your own, but I do think like if you actually want to do like CrossFit, you have to go to the classes, go to the competitions and all that. So definitely not the most cost efficient. And in terms of hobby, it is once again becomes your whole personality. So it is definitely a hobby. And for that, I will give it a 4 out of 7. Now let's talk about its better looking younger sister that's made it on the scene, Hyrox. Resistance training, yes. VO2 max training, yes. Zone 2, yes. Mobility, no, it's one of those things like running. You should do mobility for Hyrox, but nothing in a Hyrox workout specifically has mobility. So lose a point there. Cost, kind of same idea. You can just do a Hyrox workout. You can just do it. It does get to be quite pricey if you have to travel. The actual competitions aren't that expensive. I think they're like $100, which is still crazy, but like it's doable for the average person if it comes to your city. Of course, if you're traveling and all that. So it's kind of, but in terms of hobby and social, I'm intrigued to do Hyrox just because of the competition day. So it seems like so much fun. Everyone who does it just kind of says that. I have so many people who are like, didn't really love the workout, the race, but the race day, like the atmosphere was so much fun. So for all in all, I'm gonna give Hyrox a 6 out of 7. It really does check all the boxes. Next up workout, hiking. Here's my prediction right now. I think hiking is the next big thing. Everyone's got the gear. Everyone has Arc'teryx and Salomon now. So it's like, you better put it to use. You're gonna wear that Arc'teryx jacket, that's fine. Don't you be wearing it to walk out of your car into the grocery store. I mean, you can, it's that expensive, get the most use, but like, let it live its best life. Take it out in the rain, take it on a hike. Which brings me to hiking. Resistance training, if you rock, if you put some weights in there. Zone 2, yes, probably my favorite form of zone 2. You can make it VO2 max if you're going like steep incline elevation. Like when I did the 29029 event, like the Everest, there was definitely plenty of zone 5 in there. And I will say mobility, it is mobile in the I'm kind of cheating and giving it that. I'll give it 0.5 because it is not so like one plane. Like you do have to move in different ways. You have to hike. Like I just think of hiking where you're almost like borderline rock climbing at different elevations. So I do think there's some mobility. Cost, free. And of course, social and hobby. This can become people's entire hobby. They're number one. I come from a family of hikers, so that is them. And so all in all, I'll give hiking a 6.5 out of 7. We got 3 more in the workouts and then we go to the T, the fitness classes, which I feel a lot of people come for. So let's rapid through these. 1, dancing. Also, underappreciated, amazing workout. It lacks in the resistance training, no resistance training, but you can get some zone 2 if you have a nice little dance for about an hour. If you go full out, like 3-minute, hard as you can get yourself up in there in that VO2 max training. Obviously great mobility. It's 100% free. Let's all right now. Yeah, we all just did it like that. Boom. Get up. Actually, if you're open sitting, tight hips, maybe get up and stand for a second, dance a little. If you're kind of in that bleh, great for the mind. Which leads me to hobby, social life. I mean, dancing at the nightclub is like my favorite form of social life. So there's many spectrums. It can be a fitness class all the way to late night dancing to just dancing with your kids in the kitchen. So overall dancing, a 6 out of 7. Another underappreciated, racket sports. Resistance depends on them. I will give them a 0.5 for there because there is some resistance like when you do play like I think like tennis, but it won't be as of course effective as weight training. Mobility because you're moving multiple different ways, laterally, which a lot of us adults never move laterally. Zone 2, VO2 max training, depending on your intensity, you can get all them in it. Cost varies. Of course, it can be tennis, like the most bougie of sports, or you can just go to a rec center, rent a badminton racket. You can pick up all set at a garage sale. So there's a lot of public resources for racket sports. And talk about an amazing hobby and way to meet people is racket sports. So for all in all, a 6.5 out of 7. And the last workout before we get into the specific classes is walking. I will give it a 4 out of 7 because you can do zone 2. You could technically get up into the VO2 max training if you go like really intense, if you like wear almost rucking, kind of like hiking. It's free. And do you call it a hobby? It can be. It can also be social. I think that's the most important thing. Like for me, I go on a walk and try and FaceTime people. I try to go on walks with my friends. For that, I think it can be very social. Now let's break down all the different classes from the Lagrees, the solid core on all these, which are the most bang for your buck. Because I think that's the biggest thing is if you're going to do these classes, are they actually worth it and how much? Because I go to these classes to like save myself time. I have an hour, let's do it. So what are you going to get the most benefits from? Number one, spin. I'm only going to give spin a 4 out of 7. One, it does have resistance, specifically if you crank it up, but you can cheat. It has zone 2 because moments that are chill. And if you do push yourself fully, it can be a great form of VO2 max training. It is the worst for mobility because you're stuck in one position and just repetitive motion. So if I say my biggest caveat with spin is you have to do mobility training in some aspects on top of it. Cost, it is definitely on the pricier side. Yep. There is no real cheap spin class except maybe if you go to like a rec gym or something. Of course, you do it on your own. You can go to your gym, plop it up, but like generic spin studios are going to probably cost you $25 to $40 depending on your city. And then hobby, I would say it's a great hobby. My favorite thing about spin studios is I find they're always the most amazing community. That is why I do spin. It's probably one of my least favorite workouts, but it has great music and the people are amazing. So I'm like, you know what? It's a sweat. Let's do it. As someone who hates biking.
Yeah, I shouldn't do this.
I'm not saying biking's bad. To my cyclists, you're better than me. That's the thing. You're better and it scares me and you scare me. I'm intimidated. F45 gets a 4 out of 7. It just felt fitting, but resistance training, yes. Cardio, it will have moments maybe where you're in that zone 2 or VO2 max training. So I'll give it like a 1. I find it has no mobility in it. Like you'll have a little bit of warm up or not. And then cost, not the most cost effective workout. Once again, it's in that 25 to 45, but I do find they have a great community. There's a couple franchise gyms that I feel do a really good job of making community outside of the gym. Like some will just do challenges, but some will be like F45 Hyrox event, or we'll all sign up for this. Like all the people I know who do F45 or F45 trainers, like it's a big community thing. And so I feel it's actually an amazing part, like especially if you're new to a city and you just want to get involved in the fitness industry, I would really recommend F45 because like they're going to have so many events, they're going to be at so many events that it's like a great way to infiltrate the fitness scene and like make friends that way. Like that's one of my favorite things. And it's probably one of the most effective resistance training based of the group classes. So if that's your focus, you're probably going to get the most there. And it's kind of like a less injury prone verse of like, there's F45, Hyrox, CrossFit in the likelihood of overtraining injury. Next up, berries. My love. Toxic, but aren't the best loves. Anyways, berries, a 4 out of 7 because it does have resistance training. You can do the zone 2 or VO2 max training, but you really have to push yourself. Like I actually feel berries is one of my favorite ways to get VO2 max training because the music, the vibes, I actually do fully push myself. But my only caveat with berries is like you're running for 30 minutes and I'm like, I'm not max out sprinting. So I actually cheat for like the first 20 minutes and then like save myself for the end and then like really push myself. So that's like the one downside of berries, and also the lack of mobility. If you're lucky, it's a minute before and after. It's not the fault of the trainers, it's the format of the class and they have to cram in everything. So that's just the reality of these kind of classes is like all the trainers would be like, yeah, we'd like to do mobility and that, but there's just not enough time. Cost, yep, definitely 0. It is not affordable. But the community, it's fun. But I will caveat, it depends on locations. I've been to some berries where I walk in and I'm like, if I'm not head to toe looking cute, I feel shunned. Other ones are like my Vancouver berries. I love you guys. You are the best. The trainers there, the community. I always felt super welcome. I'd bring friends there. It's a fun vibe. But I've been to others and I feel like I don't belong. And as someone who really reviews fitness classes on YouTube, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm the target market. Pretty sure. I should be okay to go here. But I think it's in cities and neighborhoods where I'm out of those people there's tax brackets. So my gym bag is not Louis Vuitton, dare I say. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, tangent on berries. 4 out of 7, love you. Some of you scare me. Next up, Lagree / solid core. I'm gonna batch them together because they're pretty much the same. The only real difference is solid core at moments you get off the reformer and you do a little bit of cardio. They have resistance training better than regular Pilates, I'd say. It is more extreme. The mega reformer has more weight. You might get into different heart rate zones, but it's not really the most effective way, but anything is good. So I'm not gonna give a point there. Mobility, not really. You would think there was more mobility involved with them. So overall, I'm gonna give 1 point between the Zone 2 VO2 Max mobility, because like you can kind of get a little bit, but not any of it's really that effective. Cost a big 0. It is not worth it technically. Like it is worth the price. Like when you count in the trainers and facilities and the products and you get what you pay for, and like I still do it. But I mean, you can get this most same effective workout for free at your gym lifting some weights. But then hobby and social life, yeah, it is one of those things that like you do with the girlfriends. You show up, it's fun, we're all in it together. Like it's one of those things, it's like peak for the girls and the gays. Lagree's in that. Like obviously the boys can come too, the straight boys can come, but like they come because we laugh at them. We're like, ha 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 ha. You can't do this. And that's why it's great. It's like, it's us. We're all coming here and it's just a vibe. And that's why it's a social life. But I won't lie, it is far from perfect. Far from perfect, but do I go? Oh yeah, and I love it. It's just not perfect and it's expensive. So it's more, if you go and you love it, keep going. If you have FOMO about it, just be like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not gonna make or break your fitness journey. Next up, Barre. I'm gonna give a 3.5 out of 7 because there's mobility work, no resistance. Even with the dumbbells, sometimes I wouldn't even classify it. You will dip a little bit into that Zone 2. I find it's a great hobby, especially like for former dancers. Cost, it's usually pricey, but actually you can get free barre classes like on YouTube and just do on your own. But if you actually go to the barre classes, they're gonna be equivalent to Pilates. I find barre isn't that effective. It's kind of a placebo. Like you'll be really sore the next day, but there's not enough resistance to build muscle, so to say. But it definitely does have benefits and it's great activation. Like I feel when I'm doing classes like that, like I'm more aware of my muscles. And so when I go and actually weight train, I just have more of that mind muscle connection. And it is a fun way to move your body. You'll be in a bit of that Zone 2. So I think like that's my caveat with like something like a barre class. It's great, but if you technically want to have like a well-rounded routine, you need to do more than barre. But it's a vibe. And as someone who was never a ballerina or a dancer, I'd like to go there and like cosplay that I know how to do ballet. Next up, Rebounder, mini trampoline. Actually, if I were to give a benefit, if you're like, oh, should I get a vibration plate? Just get a mini trampoline. A lot more benefits. You can get a little bit of resistance training for it, and it's like a low impact, just like load bearing from it, because you actually have to push them down. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like you have to push them down. So it's not really bouncing up, you're pushing down. And so you can get that Zone 2, you can get some VO2 max training, no mobility really, unless the class does it. Cost, no, because the classes tend to be expensive, and the trampoline itself is about $200 to $400. Fun fact, we'd always have like 10 of them in the basement because my mom taught rebounder classes. So we always had rebounders in the basement. And then hobby, like social, it's not really one, like some of the gyms will have that, but it's more of an in-out gym. There's not a consistent franchise I can comment on it, but I do have a question. While I was researching this, I was looking at like the most popular fitness classes, forms of exercises to establish, and that's kind of how I got my list. I did all the researches and I found one article from Google Trends, and it was the most popular workout in every country. And some were running, some were Pilates, some were yoga, some were weight training. Like they're all the basic because most people do it, except Sweden. As someone who lives half the year in Sweden, I'm really confused. I asked my fiance, I'm like, is this a thing? And trampoline was apparently the most popular fitness in Sweden. What are y'all doing? I'm confused. You're probably confused. I want to say fellow Swedes. One day, hopefully. I mean, I do have Swedish ancestry. Anyways, I'm getting off tangent. What's going on there? Someone explain that to me. I'm really confused. I was like, is this a Google typo? Or is there like some kind of something that skewed the SEO? Anyways, it was like everyone else was like Pilates, running, weight training, trampoline. Is that how I get my citizenship? I have to understand trampolining? Okay, noted. Write that down. Next up, P-Volve. I also just want to ask if you guys want me to do this as a video. I did one in LA. I did it years and years ago, so much that's like not even relevant anymore, the review. I think it's like 8 years old at this point, but I don't even know how to explain Revolve. It's kind of like a resistance band class. So it does have resistance training. You might dip into the Zone 2. No VO2 max training, a little bit of mobility. So I'll give it that because you are actually going through these different range and like moving in different planes, which I actually really like. It is not cheap, especially the classes or the app. You need to get the products for it. It's kind of one of those like branded resistance bands. You can just get a generic and do it yourself, but like to be in the whole ecosystem. And then hobby, no, this is one of those ones that's like kind of more clinical. Like I wouldn't classify it as a hobby. Kind of like play, you could make it, but not really. But I am intrigued by it, and I get the Jennifer Aniston ads of it all the time. So I will give it a 3 out of 7 from my memory. But if you guys want that review, let me know down in the comments, and I'll make that happen. And last up, dance studio / like Zumba, all those classes that you're dancing for the whole time. I'm gonna give a 5 out of 7. You won't get any resistance training, but you can do your cardiovascular training in it. You get mobility in. A lot of them actually are the most cost efficient of the group classes, I find. Like I find they're not overly brandy. They're kind of just more boutique local studios, which I will always support. And it's always kind of nice knowing you're supporting like your local dance studios. So that I will say it's cost efficient, even though you do have to pay some money, but you can do it online. There's plenty of free resources. And in terms of a hobby, it is one of the best things. And I do think there's like a couple things we need to do more of, which kind of leads me to why I made this video. And I think dancing and hiking is a big reason I made this video. Worst ranked: HIIT, Pilates, and P-Volve. And none of those are bad. I love those things I do. But if you're really strapped on time and you're like, oh, I have an hour to do this or an hour to do that, I don't think those are as worth your time because you're not really getting the full circle. Ideally, in a week, the general consensus is we're getting 2 to 4 weight training sessions a week, depending on it. You're getting that 150 to 180 minutes of zone 2. You're doing some type of VO2 max training, and 10 minutes a couple times a week, you're getting some mobility. That's kind of the generic, and a little bit every day. So see how you can apply all those, like how Pilates would fit in. And that's kind of how I makeshift my workouts, is like pick and pull. But that's where I'm like, if you're a working mom, busy, and you want to join a group class or you have an hour workout, I wouldn't say Barre is the most worth your time money. But if you want that to be a fun way, you get in a little zone 2 with your friends, it's a great way you can do that if you have the time. And that's why it has a bad ranking. I wouldn't really mention anything that was like absolutely brutal in this, but they all have like their pros and cons, which leads me to the most highly ranked. For the classes, dance classes actually rank the highest. And then a tie for second is Barre's. Oh, I forgot Orange Theory. Barre's and Orange Theory are the same thing, really, same benefits. One just a little bit more cheaper, but one's a bit better music. So, and F45 also equal ranking. So honestly, all those, just like do the one that you enjoy the most or you get the best deal on. Now, my personal best ranking, strength training. We all need to do it. It's one of those things, I don't care. I don't care. You need to do it. And I'm sick of being nice. I'm being truthful. I don't want to hear, it spikes my cortisol. No, not in 2026. It is beneficial. It is the thing that prevents muscle wasting as we get older. There's different ways you can do resistance training, as I mentioned many times in this, but we all do resistance training. Now, yes, you can overtrain, but a little cortisol is good. Don't fear cortisol. We need that. We need to work hard so our body adapts. Chronic cortisol is different. But sorry, I'm being a little angry. Sometimes I go on TikTok and I see we're demonizing weight training for women. I'm like, no, we're not going back here. For cardio, it's easy. Do one thing that you kind of do chill for a good duration. And then something you do balls to the wall for a couple minutes, a couple times a week. And for me, that's running. I have such joy in running. It has also become a hobby. It's become my identity. In the nerdiest way possible, because I love going to races. I love blasting music. I love it. Race days feel like music festivals. Run clubs feel like it. And that's why my personality right now is running. But you can do it from cycling. You can do it from swimming. Or you can do it from hiking, which leads me to kind of the point of this video. You might see sitting here, but like, that was a kind of okay. I don't know why, like I just had this idea for a video and I just want to show like how many different forms of fitness there is and ways to be active outside of a gym, outside of a fitness class. You can go to these fitness classes and there's benefits for it, but also like hiking. You can go swimming, you can go cycling, and they have a lot of benefits aside from just like the gym. And I think if I have one reason I personally have not fallen off fitness is it's really lame, is it's a hobby. And at one point it was a hobby, even though I was just kind of like weight training, which is fine. That is totally fine. But I think in this day and age, we're really trying to spend less time online. We're trying to be more social. We're trying to be out in nature, but we also are so busy and we're strapped for time and we need to go lift this much and we need to run and do all these things. And I'm like, your fitness can be your hobby. It can be your social life, and not in a lame way, like an enjoyable way, like dancing and hiking. Like out in nature is so amazing for you and so nice. And dancing just is great for your mental health, and racket sports are such a fun hobby and you're getting so much in. So like, I just think when you go online and you go in the fitness industry, you're constantly told these like workout plans you got to follow, and they're this many times of weight training, this many times, and that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have a very specific goal. If you're training for a sports performance goal, you need to train in that way. But as a general population, Fitness should be fun. Find fitness that is craveable. Have it so enjoyable that like it is not hard, you don't fall off because it's a part of your identity, social life, and you genuinely crave it. And it seems crazy, but as someone who had the biggest smile on their face at the end of the Berlin Marathon to this day, I don't know how, I had a great playlist and the vibes, and I just am sick of seeing online saying fitness is just one way. There's so many different ways to get in all these health benefits that you are. So if you're a little sick of the 10,000 steps, 150 minutes, mix it up, do this, especially as the weather is getting warm. Get outside the gym, go enjoy. It's cheaper, it's more enjoyable, and you'll have more fun. And that's that. And that was kind of my idea for this video. And those were kind of the different areas they are. But I'd love to hear down in the comments, what is your form of fitness? Rank it. If you're a cyclist, rank it. Comment down below if there's other group classes that you do that you'd really recommend, because there's only so many times I have on this. We'd love to hear it down in the comment section. And also, you know, while you're going down there, I don't ask for this often, but you can hit the subscribe button. Because of how algorithms work, I know most people don't. They just wait for what YouTube serves you. But, you know, as a YouTuber, it's a vanity metric. And I would really like that gold play button. So if you could hit subscribe. Yeah, I feel really even awkward doing this. I think I asked for a subscribe button like once every 3 years. And so now I'm going to go into hiding from that for a long time. Have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.